Asylum has a lot of items and maps. Some of them crazy overpowered, some of them really bad, but some have been forgotten for such a long time now. This is what we'll be discussing today in this video. I'll be sorting through stuff that I found from least forgotten to most forgotten. Also, before we start, I'd like to give a big thank you to the Asylum wiki, because they were some of the only sources, like reliable sources, that I could find for this video. And if there was no wiki, this video probably would not have been possible. And one more thing, I will mention the word vaulted in this video. It means it's something not usable in public servers and only usable in private servers. I know a lot of people get confused by that, but anyways, let's get started. The most least forgotten item on our list for today is Mark's pistol. This item was based off the Mandela Catalog series. Mark's pistol is a weapon used in the series for kill scene. All it does when you shoot, it will kill yourself and do a little screen animation based off the series. This item received really bad feedback when it was added in version 1.20, the Mihawk update. It was eventually converted into a VIP exclusive item because of the feedback in the 2023 summer update. But sadly, it was removed entirely in version 1.6, which was the most recent update, because of such a stupid reason. It did not comply with Roblox's terms of service. If this was the main argument against this, why was it added in the first place? It was going to break Roblox TOS, but you know, who knows. Roblox TOS changes a lot, especially in 2023, so that may have gotten it removed, but who knows. But it's sad to see Roblox meet this item removed and not the devs. I'll definitely miss this item because it was super funny seeing noobs think they can kill people with the Mark's pistol, then just kill themselves accidentally when they use it. That stuff was gold. Rest in peace this item. I will miss it. The Sigmafyer. This was a reference to the jar of latex. This was added in the 2024 April Fool's update as an April Fool's joke and would turn people into a Sigma with a picture of Patrick Bateman as the head of the character. It was surprisingly overpowered, and funnily enough, this was the shortest lasting item in Item Asylum history, being removed 3 hours later after the April Fool's update dropped. Removed because it references the jar of latex, which should never have happened in the first place. Whoever thought of this idea is definitely smoking something, because the jar of latex has literally the worst reputation of an item in Item Asylum. So no surprise this got removed, but at least it holds a record. I mean, it's surprising, but good job developers. I'm so proud of y'all for referencing the jar of latex again. Okay, but seriously, they need to stop referencing this item. I'm sick of it. The jar of... This is probably the most weird and most justified removal for an item in this video. This was added very early on in the development of Item Asylum in version 0.2. This was added because of the furry, transform games. If you remember those, they were very big in 2021. Basically, all it would do is turn people into furries in game if you, hit them with the jar of latex. But it was eventually removed in version 0.4 to do a huge controversy surrounding the origins of the trend from a puzzle adventure game about furries called Change. I don't really think I need to say further on this item. The game itself included many sexual and fetish orientated scenes about furries. It was all a really strange game. I don't even know why this was added because of how weird the reference of the item was. But recently, in the 2024 April Fool's update, it was referenced in an item called the Sigmafyer, which was pretty much the same thing as the jar of latex, but just turned people into Sigmas, and was shortly removed after. Overall, this item is pretty much a meme in the community because of its origins. It's pretty strange to see something like this in Item Asylum. It's just the furry transform games have definitely died off as of recently. This one is so deserved. I hope this becomes more forgotten. Gauntlet. This item was basically the Chicago weapons back in the day. It had the same functions, but with a rainbow laser that dealt a minimal amount of damage every second. This was based on a Danos clip in Cartoon Beatbox Battles. It was added sometime before version 0.3. So this was a very early Item Asylum item we were talking about. But when Chicago eventually got added, this got removed as the devs did not want another Chicago clone, but I kind of missed this item. It looks kind of iconic, and I'm sad that it didn't get vaulted. Apologist. The Apologist was based off the underrated Roblox game called Ours. It is a reference to the Fiend Rider enemy in that game. Basically, whenever you hit someone with the Apologist, it does not back in damage. It is completely drivable by the player, which is a really cool feature. This item was added somewhere before version 0.6 and is a really early item Asylum item. It was later removed in an unknown version after version 0.6. It was revamped and called Helion in version 1.4 and was reworked into the Honk/Hot Rod Rider in version 1.5. Still though, I miss it being drivable by itself. They should have vaulted Helion because I'm way too lazy to perfect run skeleton boss, because that's literally one of the hardest bosses to perfect run. But yeah, I'll miss this item. Widestud. This map was literally just a stretched out stud. This map replaced the FFA_stud map in the version 0.9 update, and then eventually was replaced by long plate in the Dead Snow update. This map was very OP back when it was still in the game. It was sad to see it get replaced by long plate, but oh well, it's basically almost the same thing. But it will be missed by people trying to get a 100 kill streak easily. Moyai. The first vaulted item on our list. This is not to be confused with Sad Moyai. This is the same as Baby and Gumma Bear, if you know those. If you click on your screen, it will spawn this item, and it does absolutely nothing but play sound at the start of it being deployed. There's literally nothing special about this item, just like kind of like a useless, forgotten, vaulted item. Content deleted. This item is basically an earlier version of Merc's pistol, but different. When using this, it will instantly kill you and make you invisible. A reference to Roblox assets on the website that get deleted by moderators. Added in an unknown update as a miscellaneous item before version 0.2. So this is a very early item, Asylum item, probably one of the first. But this item was vaulted in version 0.2 because of really negative feedback, which is kind of similar to Merc's pistol in a way. But overall, it's pretty forgotten. I'll only use it sometimes to troll in private servers, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Christmas tree. This was an item used in the 2021 Christmas update. Similar to the bootleg Santa, it was an xmas game mode exclusive item that was only obtainable in an xmas_backyard. It's a reskin version of Team Trees with Christmas lights around it. This item is literally useless, being the same as moyai, bootleg Santa, and Baby. This item is vaulted and literally nobody uses this. I have not seen a single person in a private server use this. Like, it's literally forgotten. Bootleg Santa. This was used in the 2021 Christmas update as an Xmas game mode exclusive item that was only obtainable in xmas_backyard. If you use the item, it would place a model of Santa that plays an oh ho 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 sound, similar to an earlier item on the list called moyai. After the 2021 Christmas update, it got vaulted and forgotten, but it's pretty much useless anyways. I'm honestly surprised this didn't get removed, and is some of the only remnants of the 2021 Christmas update still in Item Asylum, and is still usable in-game. Cool Ice Sword Thing. This item is a pretty cool concept, honestly, but really nothing special here. Just a normal vaulted item that is pretty unknown to most people. I'm pretty surprised to see this is not being unvaulted and put in the game, because it's actually a pretty nice weapon, and like mix things up, you know. Like, I don't know what the history behind this weapon is, but yeah, it's just an unknown weapon in general. Bad Developer Summoner. This item was added on the release day of Item Asylum. Upon using the item, it would spawn 3 hostile NPCs, which were the 3 developers at the time: Portaboy, Gene, and Xerox, and would attack nearby players, dealing subpar damage. It was removed one update later in version 0.1. It was unknown why this got removed, but it was certainly interesting seeing the item on the Item Asylum wiki page, because for a while, the image they used for it was literally in 144p, and it's actually kind of funny, but they revamped it. Overall, this item is pretty unknown to a lot of people. Lobby_idiot box. The first lobby on this list. This lobby is interesting as it wasn't even Item Asylum's map. It was literally stolen from the game Item Asylum is based off of, called Infinite Welfare, which is a pretty underrated game and definitely deserves more players. But I guess the Item Asylum developers did not ask the Infinite Welfare team if they could use it, and the team behind Infinite Welfare asked JPX Studios to take it down, and they did. But it was removed for a good reason. Since Item Asylum is actually a really super popular game, if you didn't know, it gets literally tens of thousands of players every day, and they think people would be confused and think Infinite Welfare was copying Item Asylum, which is not, by the way. Infinite Welfare is the OG game that Item Asylum is based off of. Other than that, there's not really anything special with the lobby, just that's from Infinite Welfare and it's pretty, forgotten about. Like, this was removed very early on. Dagger. Dagger is a melee item and is a red pixel dagger that dealt 35 damage per hit and had a cooldown of 0.5 seconds. It was added on release day and removed one update later in version 0.1, but this was the version that Beta Jean used in the boss beta battle, that little green sword thing. But it was eventually replaced by Cubic Essence in version 1.4, but Dagger, it's its own separate item. Basically, Cube Dagger was the, off branch of it. So it's two separate items. So this is the version that is most forgotten. Lobby_SCPF. This lobby was based off the SCP Foundation, and this is a very cool lobby in my opinion for early Item Asylum. It was added somewhere before version 0.3, so this was a very early Item Asylum lobby. It got removed in version 0.4, but the reason for its removal is unconfirmed, but the contributor of the map, Omega_792, recently posted a re-upload of the lobby, and it's public for anyone to join and see what the lobby was back in the day. If you want to, experience it, I'll have it linked down below. But in my opinion, the map is pretty forgotten, as I'm sure not many people got to experience it when it was still in game. And also, I'm pretty sure it's one of the only SCP references in game, except for a couple other maps and items. FFA_CreepyMan. This map was added in version 0.8 in the 2021 summer update. I really like the theme of this map, and it looks pretty good overall. But for the same reason as Basement, another forgotten map I'll mention later on in this video, Haunt the Guy, the person who contributed to Basement in this map, was banned from the JPX Studios Discord server for an unconfirmed reason, and both of these maps were later removed in the version 0.8.2 patch. Now, when I looked in the comments of the wiki page for this map, I found that someone had actually found a template game for the map, and I was kind of curious, so I clicked on it, and it's public, so anyone could join it. It was made by the official Haunt the Guy account, so I quickly just pressed play, and I'm kind of shocked. This is still preserved. You can literally visit this and see the remnants of the map. Like, it's actually kind of cool. And also, some people in the comments are saying that this map never existed, like it has some sort of Mandela effect around it. I mean, that could be true, but we literally have the map preserved right in front of us. And why people think this is because it was literally only lasted in the game for maybe like a week or two. So not a lot of people have experienced this map, and it's probably mainly unknown to like the general public of Item Asylum. Overall, this is literally unknown. Lobby_RBLXWare. This was based off the hit Roblox game called RBLXWare. This is one of the first community maps in Item Asylum, which Item Asylum should do way more of these. Like, seriously, there are so many talented builders and animators in the Item Asylum community. But anyways, the builder of it is unknown, but the lobby itself is decent. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just like a recreation of one of the lobbies I think in RBLXWare. But the reason for the removal, however, is quite weird. The builder of the lobby was apparently exposed, and the map was later removed in the 2021 summer update. Still unknown to this day what the builder did, but people on the wiki concluded that it was, how do I say this? The builder was looking for cupcakes, basically, if you know the EDP 445 situation, but still it's 100% unknown. I'm surprised RBXware was okay with this, but considering that Item Asylum was a very smaller game back then when it was added, it kind of makes sense, but overall, unknown. Lobby _ alleyway. This lobby is just a big alleyway with a giant head on the middle of the walls. This is a reference or an image called the 16th Street Denver Lego head. I don't think I've ever seen this image, and it's nothing special. Like, about the map, it's just an old Item Asylum map that got vaulted, and it's unknown why it got vaulted in the first place, but I think it's pretty cool and would be nice in the Item Asylum we have now. Overall, nobody uses the map, even in private server, because it's not really anything special, like just normal lobby. Car. Car was the old equivalent of stick horse. As the name says, it is a car, but you are not inside a car. You are the car. This is a reference to the Transformers and will increase the player speed by 16. Added on release day, it was removed in version 0.1, but the reason for its removal as stated by the wiki is likely redundancy, which is something I agree with because in early Item Asylum, you also had the stick horse, which was super broken and overpowered back then, and this was basically just the worst version of it, so what's the point of having it in game? Overall, I'm pretty sure literally everyone forgets this item. Diamond Sword. This item is based off the Minecraft Diamond Sword, but it deals 25 damage per hit. This item has a swing animation similar to air. It was added on release day of Item Asylum and was removed in version 0.1. The removal reason is unknown, but it's just most likely because of how many times the Minecraft Diamond Sword gets used in like Roblox and especially in randomizer games. It's honestly just a forgotten item in general. TV. This is just a TV that shows a quirky little animation of two Roblox characters fighting with the caption Roblox fight on the bottom. Another early Item Asylum item. It was unknown when added, but it was in a lot of very early 2020 Item Asylum builds and was removed in version 0.1. Reason for the removal was because it caused a lot of massive lag spikes in servers. It's just honestly just a useless item nonetheless. It's literally just a meme. A forgotten meme. Broadsword. This was based off the Minecraft Iron Sword and would deal 35 damage per hit. Similar to Diamond Sword, but when held it would not appear unless you click it. Added on release day of Item Asylum, it was removed in version 0.1, but it was removed for quite a surprising reason. The model they used for the Minecraft Iron Sword is actually stolen, but oh no, where it was stolen from. Not surprising this got removed and was forgotten. Like, literally. Projectile shield. This is simply just a shield that will protect you from enemy damage but can only withstand around 150 damage. This item was released on the release day of Item Asylum and is very much forgotten about. Although I'd like to see something like this nowadays in Item Asylum, it would be a pretty cool concept. But it was sadly removed just one update later in version 0.1. But the reason for the removal is because it was way too overpowered. Basically, back then in Item Asylum, most items did not deal a whole lot of damage, so it was easy just to equip the shield, heal, and then fight back. And also, this item looks horrid. Whoever designed this item needs to get fired, but I can't blame them. It was very early on in Item Asylum development, so you can't really blame the devs. Toolgun. This is based off the Gary's mod toolgun. It was a gun that shot a blue hit scan shot at the cursor and usually never did any damage, but had a small 10% chance to deal a minuscule 5 damage. And it was added on release day of Item Asylum. It was removed one update later because of the overwhelmingly bad feedback by the early Item Asylum community. Honestly, I'm not surprised by why this was removed. This sounds like the most useless weapon ever in existence. I'm so glad that devs removed this, and in my opinion, this item is very much forgotten. Chicken sandwich. This is practically just the worst Krabby Patty. This was a healing item, and using it would heal you 50 health and then disappear forever from your inventory. It was added on release day of Item Asylum and was removed, and we don't know why it was removed because the article on it on the Item Asylum wiki is a stub, which means there's literally no information on this item. So yeah, we can only just speculate why it was removed, but yeah, it's literally just forgotten. Basement. Basement is based off the hit video game called Binding of Isaac. This used to be a lobby until the 2021 Christmas update, where it got vaulted and then removed entirely in the version 0.7.3 patch, because the contributor Haunt the Guy from earlier got banned from JPX Studios and all that due to some drama. In the next update for Item Asylum, both of his maps were removed. But this map is actually still playable to this day. Haunt the Guy has a game open for the lobby that is open to the public, and I found this off a commenter on the Item Asylum wiki page for this map. And it's really cool to see this old map from old Item Asylum being preserved here. I'm pretty sure this place is just a template for the one in Item Asylum, but still cool nonetheless. Overall, it's pretty forgotten. xmas_backyard. This map was vaulted. It was an exclusive map in version 0.7 and added as a new map for the 2021 Christmas update. This was the only map with a seasonal exclusive game mode called Xmas. A mainly forgotten map, but before version 0.7, this was the only map to hold a VIP exclusive game mode. Honestly, it's nothing special from the map itself. Even though I used to play on it, I hated it. No wonder this got forgotten, as the Xmas game mode itself got hated on. Xmas game mode. This game mode only worked in xmas_backyard. It was available during the 2021 Christmas update, which, to be honest, was one of the best Christmas updates Item Asylum has ever released to date. Basically, how the game mode would work is that you would spawn in with no items at all, and then you have to search for presents along the map and get items from the presents. And there would be different types of presents you could get different types of items from. A red present would give you a melee item, a yellow present would give you a ranged item, a blue present would give you a miscellaneous item, and a rainbow present would give you a Christmas themed item from the time. Honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of this map, and neither was most of the Item Asylum community at the time, so that's why it got removed and was only available during the 2021 Christmas update. Overall, I think this should have been at least vaulted and be playable for people who want to experience it again, as I would like to, just to, relieve some nostalgia for the 2021 Christmas update. Overall, this is a pretty forgotten game mode. Disc. Disc is an interesting item to research, particularly the removal reason. Well, basically, all the item would do is make the user swing their arm forward, and if it hit another person, it will disable them for using their weapons for 10 seconds. Added very early on into Item Asylum, and most likely on release day, and you could tell it just by the removal reason alone, which I'll get to later, but it was removed in version 0.1. Now, for the removal reason. The removal reason is because it did not work and no one wanted to fix it. What kind of reason is this? I get the Item Asylum community was super small back then when it was added, but still, imagine if the developers had a removal reason just like this today. Bro, the community would be so outraged. So, next update, guys, we are buffing the beta figure Juggernaut for the 212th time, and now Cupid Essence will give you double damage that can stack and can now heal you to your full 2000 health. We are also adding limited time body pillow pets in game. And don't ask about this, please. We're just gonna shove that down the rug. Please don't mess with it, please. Imagine that. Overall, this item is pretty forgotten. Now, we are in the top 3 most forgotten things in Item Asylum. If you are here, it would be very much appreciated if you could hit the like button and subscribe. But anyways, on to the top 3. We have Peanut Blaster. This is a very old Item Asylum weapon, probably one of the first weapons in the game. It was added on release, so version 0.0. It's basically just a blaster that shoots peanut projectiles and deals 12 damage per hit. Most likely one of the most forgotten weapons in the game in my opinion. I have never seen anyone mention this weapon at all except for the Item Asylum wiki and a couple other YouTube videos. It was removed in version 0.1, so just one update later it got removed. Also, the Dinner Blaster was not based on this at all. Overall, it's a very forgettable item. Lobby_back alley. Not to be confused with Alleyway, a vaulted lobby. Using the old Item Asylum game, we can actually still play this map, and yet, it is very unfinished. Just look at the outer area in the skybox. The main reason this got removed is because, most likely, it was unfinished, and it looks quite ugly in my opinion. I'm glad they removed this now. Other than that, the map is very forgotten about because it was a very bad lobby. Even some of the comments on the wiki are saying, since when was this removed? I don't think a single person remembers this map at all in my opinion, so this is why it's in second place. CS_Hill. The only map for zombie survival on this list, CS_Hill was actually a mistake. The person who made it, called sowrd, was making this map for Item Asylum, but the other devs thought it was finished. I guess so they added it to the game mistakenly between version 1.2 and the April Fool's updates. It was removed very quickly, so it likely lasted for a day or two as it was unfinished, but sadly, it would never be finished, as the person earlier that I mentioned got banned from JPX Studios for one of the most stupid reasons I've ever seen. In the comments of the Item Asylum wiki page, there is a comment explaining full detail of what he did to get banned from JPX. Trust me, he did nothing wrong, and basically I'll simplify it. sowrd made art for an anonymous user on Discord and sent it to them in their DMs. But sowrd was agitated at the person for some in-game drama, and they got pretty hated. Sadly, there is no screenshots or evidence left, as there was a YouTube video linked that had all the evidence, which was now privated as of the recording of this video. But then the anonymous user took it away too far, and described the art as revenge NSFW content. The devs did not do a good job of explaining this, and the commenter pulled the information from sowrd's comments because he wanted to explain his side of the story. But yeah, this is not coming back at all, unless sowrd comes back, which is most likely not happening in the near future. Overall, the whole situation over this map is crazy. sowrd also made a couple other very well-known maps in the community, like Pizzascape and Lobby_Secret, and many more which are now deleted, which is very sad. Who even remembers this map? There isn't even a single YouTube video about the map itself, and it seems like a big piece of lost media in my opinion. All we have is just one photo of the map on the Item Asylum wiki, and that's it. And also, who banned sowrd for this reason? I want to know who banned this guy for this reason. This is like one of the most stupidest bans in like Item Asylum history. Like, oh my god, sowrd needs to be unbanned. Like, he didn't even do anything wrong. So this is why the map is now in first place for the most forgotten thing in Item Asylum. Alright, so just before I end out this segment, I just want to say that I've made a huge discovery on the map itself. On the JPX Studios Discord server, I found game links and a couple of videos of the map from a deleted user. These game links actually work, and you can see the entirety of the map. It's public for anyone to join. Now, I don't know how they consider this unfinished, because it looks pretty finished to me. What might have happened is that the developers must have released it way too early, or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure the reason why it is removed now that I have found this information, but still cool nonetheless. Well, you have made it to the end of this video. What a journey we have been through together. A list of the most forgotten stuff in Item Asylum. If you watched the entire thing, I appreciate it, as a lot of hard work went into this video. It's probably the hardest video I've worked on in a while. So if you can help support the channel by pressing subscribe and pressing the like button, that would be so appreciated. But anyways, bye bye, let's just get on to the credit scene.